All right, so we're up and running. Just going to give about 5 minutes before we get started here. My name is Brendan with the event production organization Elite Feats. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, we're going to wait about 5 minutes before we really get started here, just to get the stragglers, people sitting at home. You can notice, though, if you're joining in, hey, guys see that? Pops up in the corner. You can fire away questions right there. Once again, if you just joined, we will be starting in about 5 minutes. We're going to wait for some stragglers to come through, see if anyone else joins. If you're listening to me right now, if you don't mind letting me know, am I sounding okay? Can you hear me? You can message in right on should be the right part of your screen. There should be a little place where you can message, say hello. Hey, see a couple more people joined. Just saying before a couple joined that we are going to be holding off actually starting and going over things for a couple more minutes. We're going to wait till about 8:05 to get started. But you can see in the right-hand corner here, you can actually type, say hello, everybody. It's going to just a couple more minutes, see if anyone else joins in. So again, we're going to get started in just a few minutes. All right. Well, I'm not sure if any other stragglers will be joining us, but without further ado, we'll get started on this brief volunteer training. Thank you for joining us this evening. I know your time's important. So before we get started, we want to thank you not only for joining us this evening, but also for the impact you're going to make on Saturday at the Saving the Elephants 10K Run Walk. To put it simply, the event can't happen without volunteers. So, we will be joined by 600 runners, and they're all doing their part, donating and raising funds and paying their registration fee. But we can't put on a kick-ass event without kick-ass volunteers. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your weekend to join us and make this impact. So we're going to keep this training pretty short. This is not a extremely difficult event. If you've never volunteered for an event, round of applause to you. No worries, you're going to make through this safe and unharmed, and you're going to have a good time. But a couple of things just to go over. Let me grab my notes. So first and foremost, my name's Brendan. There'll be event staff from Elite Feats. Elite Feats is the event production company that the Saving the Elephants Run organization has actually hired to help produce the event. Laura and Sarah and the remainder of their team will also be there on event day, and we'll all be kind of giving you instructions. You can ask any of us for help, but the event production organization from Elite Feats will be there to kind of put you in place and give you direct instructions on a couple of things pertaining to packet pickup, pertaining to course marshals, water stop, volunteer photographer, and general event production details. So arrival time, this is a great place to start. We are going to ask for volunteers to arrive at 7 a.m. If you're not sure where you are supposed to arrive, or you're looking for some last minute information like a Google map, I'm just going to put this right in here. There we go. Well, I guess I can't. All right, you're going to go to elitefeats.com. Well, let me share the link. elitefeats.com, and there you can check out the Saving the Elephant Run details. Basically, we're meeting at the band shell. That's by the 73rd Transverse, 307 The Mall in Central Park. And if you go to our website, go to upcoming events, and go to the Elephant Run, you'll be able to find details of it there. Once again, we're asking that you please arrive by 7 a.m. so we can get you situated. When you get there, you're going to get a really cool reflector vest. That's not a souvenir. We're going to be giving that to you so that our participants and other people in the park will know that you're part of the event, and it'll actually make you stand out a little bit. There'll be either a neon yellow or neon pink. And at the end of the event, before you leave, please return them. Those are actually pretty expensive, and we don't want to have to build a nonprofit for replacement. So we appreciate it if you please return them. One very important detail that we'd like to discuss before we go any further is we're pretty positive the day is going to be safe and no one's going to get injured and everyone's going to have a great time. But we do like to preface and talk about emergency. So if there is a medical emergency on the event, on the course, we ask that you please contact the number that's been shared in the email first and foremost. We'll be sending out before race day, a contact number and a WhatsApp group that you can contact people directly. You can contact someone like myself who will be on site directly. But we will ask that in a medical emergency you contact. It'll be the Central Park. Actually, the full name is the Central Park Medical Unit, and that number right there is going to be the most direct line in case of a medical emergency. Then, if you can't get through to them or something like that, then contact 911. But contact the Central Park Medical Unit, and then you'll be given points of contact. Once again, check your emails. On Friday, we'll have a WhatsApp group shared for communicating on day of. Not super important. We'll get that out there for a sort of group chat. So getting into the nitty gritty of what you will actually be doing, what's going to make up the most of your day, some of you are going to be in the staging area. Some of you are going to be working on the course as course marshals or water stop volunteers. And some of you might be working at the finish line, either as a volunteer photographer or just as crowd control. All of you are going to have really important roles, but we do ask that you're flexible within the assignments because we pretty much are going to be playing it by ear on day of based upon what volunteers show up. So if you've got in your mind you really want to be a water stop volunteer, we're going to do our best to get you there because we want you to do what you want to do. But if we're very short-staffed on packet pickup volunteers, we need assistance handing out bibs, or if there's a critical turn where we need 2 volunteers to stand for the duration of the event to make sure that the participants are directed in the right way, we will ask that you are flexible and willing to be able to change up to a position that's needed, not just one that you want. That being said, let's go through a couple of things. First and foremost, let's go through packet pickup. So I'm actually, hold on one second. Stay right there, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. So, sorry, thank you for staying with me. So packet pickup, this is important. So you're going to have bibs. They don't have to look like this. They're actually going to say Saving the Elephants Run on it. It's going to have a nice little logo. And a lot of participants are going to have their names printed right on it. So how does this occur? All participants are going to be texted and emailed their bib number before race day. Once again, all participants are going to be texted and emailed before race day. There's going to be a lookup station in case they forgot their phone or don't have it, or it's not charged, and they don't know their bib number. They'll be able to look it up on an alphabetized list. But when they actually approach the tents and the tables where we're going to be distributing the bibs for race day, they're going to be asked, it's all going to be set up by 1 through 100, 101 through 200, like that. So the participants will be asked, and then you as a volunteer would ask this, what's your bib number? And they're going to say to you, 412, 313, whatever it may be. And then you'll actually take out the bibs, and the bibs will be in bundles of 25, like so. And they'll actually be able to flip through like a deck of cards. I don't know if you can see this right here. There we go. You can actually flip through like a deck of cards, so you can find, so if it's very windy, this is actually there. The first inclination of volunteers is to remake the wheel lots of times because, it's a good idea. Why don't we take these out of their bundles and we'll be able to flip through them. But if it's windy, it's much easier to misplace them. So it's super important that you actually keep these in their bundles, be bundled in 25, and that you use, let me see if I show you that, the number right here to find it. You pull it out, you give it to the participant. All right? Like I said, all participants are texted and emailed their bib number, so they should know it. Super easy job. Your job's going to be handing that out. All right? There'll also be T-shirts that need to be given out, and we'll probably be marking off the bibs on the back part of them with a marker that'll state that they get picked up their shirt. That's something that's not super complex. But this little bit, be prepared to ask participants their bib number. They will tell you their bib number. If they don't know their bib number, don't do them a favor. So please go right over there, look it up, get back into line, because the line's going to move very quick with a lookup by bib number. The other side of the coin is we should be getting between 50 and maybe even 75 people that want to register that day. This is handled by day of registration forms that folks will actually fill out. And when they fill that out, they'll be handing it to someone who'll be collecting cash or card or a check or whatever it may be. And the most important thing when you get that form, if your job's involved with actually taking that form in and distributing a bib number, is to actually make sure that age and gender are filled out correctly. Those are actually the two most important forms because those are what determine any age group places. Nothing like getting an upset 65-year-old woman who didn't want to put down her age, but then finds out she won it and she didn't put down her age and you didn't ask. So always make sure you check, if you're in charge of taking those forms in, age and gender. Super important. We can always update information later on. You're going to be putting that into a pile. And we're going to have members of our team that will be sort of captaining and behind you and working with you as well. So if you have questions, you'll be able to ask them. But and once again, if you have any questions right now, don't hesitate to fire away in the question box over there. That's sort of packet pickup information. And there's some general questions that you're going to be asked if you're working the packet pickup area, but the event in general. You're going to be asked, what time does the race start? It starts at 9 a.m. Where does the race start? Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you in the not too distant future. You'll get an email, but the start and the finish are kind of the bandshell's kind of if you would, if my thumb's where the bandshell is, this is the start and finish. You'll see this on the map. They're both within walking distance. We're going to start taking the actual participants out to the start line about 8:35, 8:45. Let me see what we actually said here. We will start walking to the start line at, I'll have to verify that with the Saving the Elephants Run team, but about 8:45, 8:30. But you can tell people the race starts at 9. You'll see on the map where the start and finish are. It's very clearly marked. And we'll also have flags up at the finish line and flags at the start, and it'll all be very easy to see. One of the questions that people might ask you, and you don't have to know what this means, but they'll be like, is this race chip time? It'll be very serious. Is this race chip time? You'll be like, yes, it's chip time. And it doesn't matter if you don't know if that means Doritos or Fritos, or if that actually what that means is it's a fancy way of saying that from the time they cross the start mats to the time they cross the finish line is the time they get. However, they need to be at the start at the appropriate time. If they start 15 minutes late, we're not going to chip time them. It's not so that people can start when they want. It's so that people can line up in a fair way and all start at the correct time and the correct pace route. So that's some questions that you're going to be asked right there. Course marshals. So I'm going to give you guys all the skinny on course marshaling. All right. You are going to stand in your place for the duration of the event. Anyway, what's the duration of the event? Well, if the event starts at 9, plan on hanging out there until about 20 minutes per mile. So if you're at mile 4, you're going to be there at least until 80 minutes into the race, until 10:20. And the further along, the longer you need to be there. One of the great things about us putting together this WhatsApp group, which I will put out there, which you can join to communicate, is you can ask if the course is all clear. So you also might be like, which direction do I point in? How will I know? Well, there's going to be a cyclist biking by you, wearing one of those really cool bright pink or bright yellow jersey pennies, and followed by a lot of very fast runners who'll be running after them. And you point in that direction. And then all of a sudden they'll trickle down. There'll be runner walkers, and then there'll just be walkers, and then there'll be people eating hot dogs wearing bibs. And that's all great and well. Everyone came out for a good cause. You're there to make sure they head in the right direction. So don't hesitate to have fun with it too, and just cheer them on. If you notice, a bunch of the bibs are, like I said, are going to have the participants' names on them. Pro tip, call people by their name, make their day. So cheer people on, have fun out there. Once that lead cyclist finishes, they're going to go out to a couple of key points, and then they're actually going to start sweeping the course. And our breakdown vehicle is actually going to be a kind of like a caboose bringing it up. So you can text the group, and there'll be some communication within the WhatsApp group, and you can join in with that. Once again, you don't have to. It's not super big on an event of this production scale, but it's not a bad idea to have it. But you can very easily just pay attention to that sweep vehicle, which will be a large box truck being driven perhaps by me or a member of my team as we load stuff into it. And that's the real deal with course marshals. Just be out there, have a good time. Really pro tips on course marshals: bring a bottle of water, bring a granola bar or something light to eat. Make sure your phone is fully charged, and know where the nearest bathroom is. And you can't leave your post to go to the bathroom if you're at a critical post. We're going to try to buddy system you up. You both can't leave. It's really important that you stay right there. And don't, the biggest mistake you can make is these few words which we've heard. Oh, I thought the last runner came through. Like, no, stay there, because there are walkers and there are run walkers and there are people that are physically challenged that are doing this because they really want to support the elephants. So stay there, stay there, stay there. 20 minutes per mile is a great, great way to look at it. So that's course marshals, water stop volunteers. If you happen to be working at water stop, super easy job. First off, you're going to have a table and you're going to have paper cups. You're going to fill the paper cups with gallons of water halfway. This is very important. You're not going to fill the water cups all the way. This is going to be a cold day in November. People are not perspiring. And even when they are, if they're really thirsty and running, they're just going to drink a half a cup and throw it. So after they throw it, you're going to have a trash bag tied to the side of the table. Then you're going to be picking up those paper cups and you're going to be putting it in the trash bag. What you do not want to do, don't take the water cup. Like, so sometimes you're out there, you're like, well, the first 5 people passed by me and didn't take water. Maybe it's because I did something wrong. So you take the water, you put it out there, and a couple people pass by, they don't go. So you stand closer and closer. And before you know it, you're blocking the running path with your body. So the idea behind a water stop, if someone needs to take water, this isn't a marathon, this is a 10K. If someone needs to take water, it's better to have them travel a little out of the running path and they get the water there than to impede the people who are just interested in running or run walking to the best of their ability and going right by it. That's a very important thing. So you'll notice the way the water stops are. Don't get creative with them and be like, ooh, we should drag it over here so it's easier for the runners. These runners are running 6.22 miles. They can run an extra 20 feet out of their way, slightly go to the left or the right, and it's better off for people that don't want the water. The water is there to help. Like, you don't want to impede the runners who are trying to run their fastest. This is a very common complaint that people are given. Runners, water stop volunteers, once again, you could also be acting as course marshals, so don't get just tunnel vision on the water. Depending upon how many volunteers we have, we can put you at one of the critical turns, so we're stationing a lot of people there. Certainly be looking and directing, and the runners are going to be looking for you for direction. Cheer them on all the same. Just make sure, like I said, that you pick up those thrown water cups, and in the spirit of conservation, filling up those water cups halfway, not only is it practical because that's what people are going to be drinking out there, but also it conserves the water, which is always a great thing. We don't need to be throwing away any resources that we don't need to use. So we went through time to get there, 7 a.m., medical number, the right one to call, packet pickup, what you're going to do, keep the bundles in the bundles, and it's all done by bib number. So ask people what their bib number is. Course marshals, make sure you point in the direction of the bike and always stay there. When in doubt, stay put. You'll always be good. If you when in doubt, stay put. And water stop. Well, if you have any questions, I've emailed out to you. You can respond back to that. The Elite Teats staff that's going to be there is going to be myself, Brendan. Once again, my name is Brendan, Nick, John, Chase, Mike, Gideon, Chu, and someone else too. So there's going to be a lot of staff. And the Saving the Elephants team that's there, they will come with their own herd too. Elephant fun. All right. Well, look, I've taken up 20 minutes of your time, 15 minutes of this training. I promise to keep it short. Really appreciate you guys taking the time. If I forgot anything, we're going to be following that up in an email. I'll send out an email, probably not tomorrow, but Friday with the WhatsApp group that people can join. If you don't want to join, no worries. We're going to be reviewing this stuff on event day as well. We really are super grateful that you're taking this time on your weekend to make this event happen. You are going to have an impact on the hundreds of people that are coming out there, which of course in turn has an impact on them returning and an impact on this event. If any questions, do not hesitate to reach out, and we wish you all a very nice night. Look forward to meeting and seeing you in person at Saturday's event. Have a good one.